Hello and welcome to another pattern recognition video. So today I'm going to go through five problems, five chess tactics puzzles, and then I'm going to cover how to replay your puzzles to improve your pattern recognition. So let's start here. We'll do the puzzles and then I'll go in here to, I'm on chess.com. So I'll show you how you can go back and replay your puzzles if you don't already know how to do that. All right, so here we have, let's see, the king was being checked by our queen here, and so the king runs away. Now it's white's turn to move, and remember you can pause the puzzles at any time if you want to think harder, but you always want to look at checks, captures, and threats in that order. Checks first because they're most forcing. So if we look here, we have a knight that could capture a bishop with check here. The knight could move here, but then it would just be captured. We could also capture with the queen here. But when you're looking at those checks, you want to see what the follow-up might be. So an obvious move would be to capture here. And then what? The king could block, but then we could capture another piece with check, and the queen would be protecting that in case the rook decided to capture. So this queen check here, capturing the bishop with check, is looking pretty good. Now we have to look at the responses by the king. Whenever a king is in check, there are three options or less. Capture the attacker, which is not possible once the queen captures that bishop. Block the attacker, which is possible by this pawn, or run. So the king could run, and that's a possibility that we might have to watch out for. If the king runs up to the back rank, well, then our queen could just capture another piece with check. What else do we have? So the king would probably, after we capture and check, if he decides to run, maybe he would run to here or here. And then do we have a good follow-up after that? That is the question. We could go after this pawn next, but we have to watch out because the queen would be attacking here. So there's a lot going on. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do this problem. That way we can get through five problems and then see how you can go in and repeat the problems that you've already played. So we'll go ahead and capture. We have a block here. So I guess we might as well check again. Then we can capture. They capture. Our king can run. And now we're being checked again. So probably the pawn should go ahead and take that. All right, so we solved that problem. And I picked a group of problems that are 1,000 to 1,500 rated. So I'll try and get through the next four problems so I can go back and show you how to replay those problems if you don't already know, because I did have that question by a viewer. All right, the rook is moved down, pinning us, attacking our rook. It is protected. We don't want to take their rook because then the queen would recapture and attack us on the back rank. So as I mentioned, look for checks first. So checks, captures, then threats. Perhaps we could knock out the defender of this pawn here, this bishop. So if we do that, that could be risky. The rook can recapture our rook. But then We could go ahead and capture with check. The king would have to run. All right, so we got to take a better look at this. Can we afford to knock out that bishop here? And then they recapture, and now we have two pieces lining up, threatening a back rank mate here. So will our check with the queen be good enough? So capture, capture, queen captures. If the king, and we would be attacking their rook over here, so the king would have to run. And then what do we do next? Oh, well, then we would be backed up by our other rook, and we could go ahead and capture. So, try and solve that in your head. Pause the video if you need to. If not, here we go. Now we capture, forking, and our rook is protecting us, even though it's pinned, but it allows our queen to come up here and capture. And then what? That's a mate there because of this pawn helping us. All right. Well, 3 more to do, and then we'll go back and go over these problems again. Let's see here. What do we have? A rook getting behind this pawn. Maybe threatening to come down here, attack our king, but if that happens, we can just pick off the pawn. So what do we have? It's our move. Look for checks first. So perhaps the only check we have is best. We go here, attacking. The king will have to run. Then we can check again with the bishop. The king will have to run again, and then we can mate on the back rank. So hopefully you were following that. So check, check, and back rank mate. All right, the final 2 problems. Our queen is under attack here. What can we do? So checks, captures, and threats. Do we have any good checks? Well, our bishop could check, but then the pawn could just block. The knight or the bishop could also block, or even the queen, but pawn block would probably be better. Our queen could capture, but then the king would just recapture us, so that doesn't look so great. All right, and when you're doing chess, a set of puzzles, you're trying to improve your pattern recognition. You can do random puzzles, or you can do a specific type of tactic. I just chose random puzzles here because I just wanted to show you 5 short puzzles and then go back in here in a moment and show you how to repeat them. So our queen is being attacked. Do we just go ahead and capture? That is a possibility. Otherwise, material is even. So, we could just attack. The queen would capture our queen. Our knight would develop, or a pawn could capture, chasing their knight away. But what tactic do we have here? All right, I'm not seeing many tactics here. What do we have? The check. But then they could just block us. Do we have any good follow-ups after that? Is there a queen sacrifice up here? All right, so this one could be a difficult one, and that's why you want to repeat or play through pattern recognition puzzles that you've chosen, especially the ones that you get, that you solve incorrectly. So, what can we do here? What would you choose? Hopefully you're finding something that I'm not seeing at the moment. All right, we just take the queen. Okay, yeah, I think I overthought this one. I should probably just capture the queen. The opponent will be forced to recapture, and then I can push a pawn and fork the two pieces here. So capture and fork, and then we grab the bishop here. All right, so on to the next problem. We just had a capture, and what can we do here? All right. Well, we do have checks. Look at those checks first. So queen could check here, but then the rook would just retreat back and block. So maybe we want to bring our rook up, and then whatever piece blocks, we can capture and then recapture with the queen. So check and capture, and we end up with a mate here. Okay, now this is what the title of this video is about. So let's find out how, if you want to replay puzzles that you've already done, how would you go about doing that? All right. You want to go into the stats. Now, you might not be able to see my entire screen here, but in the top left, where it says chess.com normally, when you go to chess.com on your computer, it may be different on your phone, but you want to go to your stats page. So I'm going to click on that. The stats page comes up, and then you click on puzzles here. So you want to go to the stats page for your puzzles. Now, lately I've only been doing puzzles that are customized puzzles. So, you can choose different puzzles to do on chess.com. You can do Puzzle Rush, daily puzzles, but custom puzzles, that is what I've been doing for these videos. So once you get to your puzzles stats page, and it'll show you, how you've done. Mine is flat because I haven't been doing regular puzzles. I've just been doing the customized ones for these videos. But you go down, you scroll down, and now you'll see a list of all the puzzles that you've been solving lately. So you can click on ones that you got wrong. We could review the ones that I just played here today. Or, I would recommend that you pick a set of puzzles, whether it's 5, 10, 20, 100. Go through them nice and slow, and then go back through those puzzles again and try and go a little bit faster. And you repeat that process. So now, you could do that, which is recommended, because if you go through a set of puzzles, even if you got them correctly, after a while you may just forget those tactical patterns. So, pick a set of problems, whatever you want to do, 5, 10, 50, 100. Go through all of them nice and slow, and then repeat them. Go back through them again and try and solve them more quickly. Then repeat those problems again and resolve them more quickly. And then you can also, if you want to, go back and look at the ones that you got wrong. They'll be in red here. So you just click on this highlighted number, the ID number for that puzzle. So if I click on this, it'll bring that puzzle back up, and then I have to hit this play problem here. Let's see. You can look at the solution again, the analysis, but I'm going to hit play problem, and now I get to play through that problem again. So now, let's see here. And I had a viewer also ask about books. You can also work on your pattern recognition by choosing a book. Your playing level will determine what chess books you should use. But there's a winning chess series by Yasser Serouin that's very good, and in that series there is winning chess tactics. But more that really explains it gives you descriptions of different tactics, and then it has some puzzles in it. So if you want to work on pattern recognition, you can pick a book. If you're a beginner, of course, you have to find some easier book, and as you progress, you'll want harder books. But look for tactical puzzle books, maybe that are just full of a bunch of puzzles, like a few hundred puzzles, 500 puzzles, however many, and just go through those nice and slow and then resolve them multiple times to burn those tactical patterns into your memory. All right, so we just had a bishop move here. So what should we do? Before, it looks like I got this problem wrong. So I don't know. Let's see what I could have done wrong here. Look for checks first. Well, of course, we could capture here. The king could recapture. But then what do we do? Do we have any kind of follow-up? Oh, this could be a famous puzzle where you capture here, you lure the king out to the center, and then, well, I don't know if this one works. Then you move your knight up here, attacking the queen, but their queen can run to here. So I see why I got this puzzle wrong. This one's a little more tricky. I don't know if this is good enough. When you're looking for checks, you have to make sure the follow-up is good enough. So if they capture, then what? What would you do at this point? And another thing, if you're trying to improve your pattern recognition, you probably want some easier puzzles. Once you get into more complicated puzzles, you're working more on calculation ability, which that's fine too. You still have to work on that. But if you're just trying to improve your pattern recognition, you want puzzles that are a little easier so you can get through a bunch of them and just get those specific patterns into your memory. All right, what can we do? We could just jump our knight up here, but then that bishop could capture us. Or sorry, the pawn could capture us and be protected by the bishop. So so you're looking for checks, captures, and threats, as I mentioned. So maybe capturing here is not doesn't have a good enough follow-up. So now we can look at captures. Is there anything we can capture for free? Not really. So threats. Is there anything we can threaten? Maybe we push forward here, attacking this knight, open things up while the king is in the center. But if we do that, pawn captures, then what? Wow, this is kind of a tricky one. So if the pawn pushes forward, all right, I'm just going to get on with it here because I don't want to drag the video out too long. So if the pawn pushes forward here, we're forking. Their pawn would probably capture, after we pushed our pawn. But then what? maybe we need to bring our knight up first. So, if the pawn recaptures, then maybe we can push forward and attack. All right, so this is a tricky one. They don't like that move, so they don't like that. Maybe they want us to sacrifice. No, they don't like that. So what else is our choice here? Wow, yeah, this one is kind of tough here. Nope, that doesn't work. Do we go there? No. So, yeah, I see why I got this one wrong before. So they didn't like that. They didn't like the knight jumping up. Do we go there? No. They don't want that. So I hope you're having, and this is what I mentioned about if you do more difficult problems, well then it's a lot more calculation involved, and so you're not working on pattern recognition as much. Okay. Wow, this one is turning into a tough problem. Maybe we push this forward. No, to try and push the pawns up. Oh, okay. Maybe this problem was more simple than I thought. We just bring our queen over here, forking. Queen attacks this pawn, and then our battery is threatening to capture this one. So that's probably what they're looking for here. All right, yes. And then now we can go after this pawn like that. What next? Knight is under attack. We can go after this bishop, perhaps. Nope, they didn't like that. So, we ignore that. Go after the rook. Okay, yeah, that was a 23-32 rated problem, so that's why that was more difficult. So, to wrap up this video, I recommend that you pick a set of problems. If you're going to use something like chess.com here, you go through those problems, however many they are, and then you can go back through them by going back to your puzzles stats page. But the only thing is, it might be difficult to do that because I'm thinking you might have to click on it each time. So let me go back to the stats page, puzzles. It's kind of a lot of work to do to just click on a puzzle each time. You have to go back to this page. So another thing that you could do is pick a narrow set of problems. So go into the custom, puzzles, custom puzzles, and then you can go up here and narrow the rating range. We'll say something easy for your pattern recognition, 0-500 to 700 rating, and then pick one theme like let's see here. We'll just pick, what's a good one? A checkmate in 2. So we'll pick that, we'll hit start, and then we'll see if the patterns repeat. So here they just attacked our rook along with the queen. So this is a checkmate in 2 problem. So we probably have to look for the check first. So queen up here, forcing the king to run here, and then we can capture with a mate. So check and mate. All right. So now I'll go through a couple problems. I'll try and do this quick, and then we can see if our problems will repeat. So they just captured. Do we have a checkmate here? Let's take a look. Well, we want to bring this rook here. After we chase our king forward, it can only go here. So maybe check and then mate. So what I'm trying to get at here is that if you pick a narrow rating band, like I picked between 500 and 700 problems of specific checkmate and two, maybe you're more likely to repeat the problems. But once again, I would recommend that you just go in and pick a set of problems, go through them, and if you really want to repeat them, am I missing an easier way that you can repeat these? I think the only way is to go in your stats page and click on the puzzles that you've already played, but it looks like you have to do that for each and every puzzle. So, that's why I recommend books as well. You just find a book with, a couple hundred puzzles in it, play through them once, then go through them again and again. And then after about 7 times, it should only take you 30 seconds or less to solve each problem because you'll start remembering them. Otherwise, maybe you can find a good alternate program. There used to be an app called CT Art, but I don't know. That may cost money. I haven't checked into any apps lately. So, feel free to leave comments. Let me know if you find another way to repeat problems, and do a set of puzzles other than using a book. In the future, maybe I'll have to check out Lichess. Maybe they have something that's a little bit easier. But leave any comments. I always love hearing from viewers and subscribers. Like and subscribe to support the channel if you haven't already. Thank you for watching and have a super chess day.